I'm Jackie Meyer, and I'm doing a analysis on the Wechsler Intelligence Scale for Children, the interpretive report example. So there is a client, she is 10 years old, her name is Jane, and a lot of the time this is very normal for within a school system or in general a auditory exam will be done and a visual exam will be done to make sure that students are developing the correct way and there are no deficits with these children. So in the case of Jane, her auditory results came back in the normal range, but her visual results came back abnormal. The reason the Wechsler Intelligence Scale was completed to figure out what category in which Jane was deficient in. In most cases, she was very proficient and she was at their average level. When it came to verbal comprehension, perceptual reasoning, but when it came to her working memory, she scored on the low average scale. So that tells us that when it comes to her memory, she seems to remember things in short-term spurts and not long-term memory. So that means that due to that, her processing for information is going to be low. And that means that she's going to have less comprehension. So when, for example, she's in class and she's read a story, she's only going to be able to focus on one thing at a time. So she's not going to remember the whole story, but she might remember one specific thing from that story. And that in turn makes her processing slow down and makes her shut down on anything else that she is doing. So it's not necessarily a visual problem that she is having, but it's more a computational problem that she's having inside of her brain. So it was recommended that Jane was encouraged to frequently review information so she can retain it a little bit more. She will just have to chunk her information a little bit more to make sure that it really sticks in her brain. But visually, she seems to be okay, and there doesn't seem to be any major deficits that's going to affect her academic learning or her day-to-day activities. She might just have to figure out a different strategy that other students may not have to use, but it's just an accommodation that she might have to use within her life, throughout her life, to make sure that she's retaining information the correct way. This is just what her process is going to be, and it's not going to impact her to a point where she might need extra services, but this might be something that she will need to use in the future.